Hey kids! For all you racing fans out there, I've got some stories to share from Cars. Cars 5-minute racing stories. Dustup in the desert. El Machismo raced across the dry lake bed in the canyon. The rocks he went over didn't bother him at all. It was what he was used to. It was what he was built for. Oh, yeah! The truck yelled gleefully, enjoying every bump and bounce. Watching from above, Chick Hicks kept a close eye on his prized student. El Machismo's gonna crush Lightning McQueen at Autovia, he said with a smile. Autovia was a super tough desert track. El Machismo and Chick would be racing against Lightning and his partner. The problem was the race was just a few days away, and Doc hadn't found a teammate for Lightning. None of his students had experience with harsh terrain. Sarge was driving by and stopped to watch his friends practice. "Don't you know how to climb, hill climb?" he yelled. "What if you get stuck in a silt bed?" Lightning pulled alongside the 4x4. "Hey, Sarge, if you know so much about desert terrain, why don't you race with me?" Sarge was stunned. "I've never raced before," he said. "Well, how about I teach you how to race and you teach me all about driving off-road?" Lightning suggested. "All right, soldier," Sarge agreed. "That sounds like a plan." Training started at dawn the next morning in a nearby canyon. "Drop and give me 25 miles. Go!" Sarge barked. Doing 25 miles was no problem for Lightning. Doing it on rocky terrain was a different story. "Oh, ow, ow, ow," he said as he bumped along. "You need better tires, soldier," yelled Sarge. "This isn't a stadium." Lightning taught Sarge that racing against Chick Hicks took some special maneuvers. "Chick Hicks doesn't play fair, so the plan is to be prepared for the unexpected," Lightning explained. He pulled Sarge through an obstacle course, full of surprises. Sarge saved his most important lesson for last. "To win this race, you have to know how to handle one thing: silt." Lightning frowned. "Silt? You mean the dusty dirt in old lake beds? That's the big important lesson?" Sarge looked at Lightning. "Listen up, soldier. Make sure you're in the lead before the course goes onto the silt beds, then keep pushing the gas. If you don't, you'll get stuck. It's impossible to see through, and you'll want to stop. Don't, just keep going." "Yes, sir," Lightning replied. Finally, race day had arrived. Both Lightning and Chick had new modifications, including fog lights and all-terrain tires. "Bow to the Tower of Power," El Machismo called to the crowd. "Oh, yeah!" "I think it's time that oversized heap of metal learned how to lose gracefully," Sarge said. Sarge and Chick would be racing first. "Get ready to lose, old man," Chick said to Sarge, gunning his motor. "Get ready to wave your white flag of surrender," replied Sarge, narrowing his eyes. Soon, the green flag waved, and the race began. About a quarter of the way through the race, Chick sped in front of Sarge and released a bunch of bolts on the ground behind him. Sarge remembered what Lightning had taught him. He veered off the path to avoid the bolts and swiftly handled the rocky terrain. Then he headed to the pit stop. Chick was too busy looking at what Sarge was doing to watch where he was going. Crash! He collided with a giant cactus. Covered with needles, Chick limped to the pit stop where El Machismo was waiting. "You make sure to beat that Lightning McQueen," he said sternly. "We can't lose this race." "No problem," El Machismo said. "Wait till I get him on the dirt. I'll shred him like paper." Chick was pleased, but just in case, he had a backup plan. To guarantee Lightning wouldn't even finish the race, Chick intended to move the course marker. Lightning would be headed off course without even knowing it. El Machismo and Lightning zoomed across the desert plains, around tight corners and over a rickety bridge. When El Machismo jumped a hill, there was so much space between him and the ground that it looked like he was flying. Uh-oh, thought Lightning. This guy is tougher than I thought. Lightning remembered that he needed to be in front before he hit the silt beds. Just as the path narrowed, he pulled into the lead. When he reached the silt beds, clouds of dusty sand exploded all around him. Lightning kept moving forward, pushing through the heavy silt. He couldn't see a thing, but he didn't dare stop. After one last push, Lightning finally made it out. "Now that's what I call off-road racing," he exclaimed. The dust from the silt beds rained down on Chick, who was hiding nearby. He was blinded by the dust, but he heard a car race by. He used his windshield wipers to clear his view and then hurried to move the course marker before the next car came through. "This'll teach that hotshot to mess with Chick Hicks," he said. "Let's see how he likes a detour." As Lightning neared the finish line, he looked around for El Machismo. To his surprise, the truck was nowhere in sight. Lightning crossed the finish line. "Ka-chow!" he shouted. "Wait!" Chick yelled. "You were supposed to take the detour!" The race officials didn't like the sound of that and took Chick in for questioning. Lightning and Sarge were awarded the Silver Tailfin Trophy. "Congratulations on winning your first race," Lightning told Sarge. "Thanks, soldier. We made a pretty good team," Sarge replied. Meanwhile, El Machismo, who had accidentally taken the detour meant for Lightning, finally found his way to the finish line. "What? I lost!" he yelled. "Oh no!" The end. Wow, that was some fast-paced stuff and some skullduggery. Hope you liked the story.